Hi, my lovelies. This is going to be a collective reading for the month of September of 2025, or the month ahead of when you're coming across this video. So to start off, I pulled a rune to kind of get the overall energy of the month. This is rune Algis, and this rune is associated with protection, guardians, like sanctuary, and even like instincts. So for the month of September or the month ahead, when you're watching this, kind of protection, whether that's spiritual or as far as having a place to go that you feel safe and comfortable, having that kind of like sacred space or sanctuary could be very important in the month, um, with everything going on. If you are watching this in the month of September in 2025, we do have some eclipses, so that could have to do with kind of like divine protection, spiritual protection, dealing with events that might be occurring around the eclipses. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what see what comes out as far as themes for the month. And I'm gonna pick up those cards that fell on the floor. Okay. More cards than I wanted to came out, but that's okay. So on the bottom of the deck, we have Voyage. I do notice there is this like full moon. So like I was mentioning with the eclipses, later this month, I believe on the 21st, in the sign of Virgo, we are going to have a solar eclipse. So it's possible that maybe you could be traveling around that time. Or like these cards suggest, maybe that you have adventurous and diligent that came out. So maybe you're planning a trip or wanting to plan a trip, or do something fun. You had delight and inner peace. And this card like always kind of reminds me of like your inner child. So maybe like you're planning to do something that's going to help you connect with your inner child and bring you this sense of like inner peace and also delight and adventure that you could be needing or wanting at this time. Then we also had Courage and Power come out, and then Taking Risk and Purity. So also like once again going back to this inner child and purity, speaking of like innocence, a kind of like clean slate kind of. But yeah, with Courage, Power, and Taking Risk, with the eclipses coming up, this could be kind of like encouraging you if you've been putting off making a decision, or choosing between things, or just like I said, just maybe you've been kind of indecisive or kind of been having this like stallmate energy. I'm seeing like the Two of Swords in my mind, in tarot. So maybe this month you're going to be able to like kind of stand in your power and have the courage to make a decision on something that you've either been like delaying, or like I said, that's kind of been stuck and stagnant, or you've just been taking longer than you may have wanted to make a decision regarding something. All right, so I'm gonna get my tarot cards and we're gonna see if we have anything else that you need to know for the month ahead. So let's see what comes out. Spirit. Oh, okay. What do they need to know? What do they need to hear at this moment in time for the month of September or the month ahead? Let me just get one more card to start. All right. So we have 4 cards to start. We have the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Star, and the Ten of Cups. Is that the right direction for you? Okay. Got himself. Okay. So the Nine of Wands always gives this kind of like wounded warrior, like you're persevering, you're kind of working through these challenges and struggles that have been presented to you. And then with the Knight of Swords, so you could be kind of having um, either receiving some kind of communication, or you're going to be having maybe like an aha moment or epiphany related to something that has been kind of burdening you and making you feel as if you're struggling. But on the other side of that, we have the Star and the Ten of Cups. So this is like Sagittarius energy. The Nine of Wands is Sagittarius. Then with the Star, we have Aquarius, and then the Ten of Cups is Pisces. So this is interesting because going back to the as far as the eclipses, so we have Pisces energy here, and Pisces well, specifically dealing with the solar eclipse. This has to do with escapism and kind of idealism and things like that. So it's interesting that the Ten of Cups came out. And then with the Nine of Wands, this will also be affecting mutable signs because Sagittarius is a mutable sign along with Pisces and Virgo. But getting back to the message, I think that whatever was burdening you or keeping you in this kind of like feeling of persevering, like you're struggling and dealing with different burdens and things of that nature, is actually going to be like something's going to be happening that's going to kind of renew your hope and faith within a situation and possibly with the overall outcome, whether that's your life in general or just regarding this situation, that you're going to be feeling a lot more hopeful and just positive around. And then at the bottom of the deck, we had the Seven of Cups. So this could have been something that maybe didn't feel like maybe the outcome that you're hoping for, or just the reaching the end of whatever situation you're at. Maybe it kind of felt like it wasn't going to happen or it wasn't going to come, like this was going to keep going on forever. So you kind of had these like illusions and daydreams around like, is this going to end? And if it does end, how will it? So Seven of Cups also speaks to like options. So maybe you're also kind of thinking like hopefully I made the right decision. Like dealing with like illusions and doubts and things like that. So maybe this whole entire time through this struggle that you've been worried that you picked the wrong option or you picked the wrong path. But then right underneath that, underneath the deck, and this is a special card to this deck, it's the Happiness card, but this card always reminds me of the Empress mixed with the Sun. So I think that like after all this struggle that you will have some kind of sense of fulfillment, like with the Ten of Cups, like you will feel fulfilled, and you will be okay in the end. You'll be more than okay in the end in regards to this situation. I'm going to put the Seven of Cups back in the deck, but let's see what else comes out. Ooh. Let's see. So the other cards that came out are kind of just confirming everything that I've already said. So we have the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. So this is talking about someone that's stable, someone who can provide for themselves and others surrounding them. And then the Ace of Pentacles is, known as the, new beginnings, breaking ground into something. So this could be, also talking about progression, going from the Ace of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles in this journey, and that you're almost at the end of it. And then we have the Hangman, the Devil, and then the Eight of Cups. Ooh, let me see. I'm trying not to. I'm going to have to hide the Devil a little with the people on it. Alright. So yeah, this is definitely, I think that whatever limiting beliefs or um, like attachments or coping mechanisms or things that you were using to help get you through um, this journey that has led to burdens and struggles and things of that nature. Um, I think I think also maybe you didn't take the path of least resistance. Maybe that's why maybe that's why you feel so burdened. And I this kind of ties back into the Seven of Cups. I wish I had took it out. Um, this is telling me that like maybe you were starting to believe that maybe there was an easier way or a quicker way to get where you wanted to go. But then we had the Four of Wands come out, and the Four of Wands is like, well, it talks about, like foundations again, going back to stability with the King of Pentacles, but also speaks of joy, celebration, reunions, unions. So it's just interesting that even right now, as you're approaching the finish line, you still think that you made the wrong choice, but you didn't. And then once again, this is going back to the theme of protection, that maybe you thought that what you chose or maybe what you wanted to choose and the journey that you're on now was wrong. So that's why you may have been hesitant as far as when it comes to other things in your life. And I think that's once again going back to the taking the risk card. I think that you're taking the courage to push through and to reach the end of what has been keeping you in this burdened energy. But at the end of that journey, you have renewed faith, hope. You have, where to go? You have joy. You have celebration. This friends, family. I just also saw in my mind's eye, I saw the Ten of Swords, which gives that energy. I know in like the Modern Witches deck, there's two like Ten of Swords, and one of them says like everything is fine. So that's like the energy that it gets. That like you're worrying yourself so much about a decision you've already made that it's affecting a decision regarding something that you're currently thinking about, or has put you in this kind of energy where you feel like you're going to make another wrong decision when you didn't make a wrong decision to begin with. You may have just been presented with a few more challenges than you would have liked, but ultimately you're going to end up where you want to be. You're going from burdened, feeling chained, to emotional freedom, happiness, joy, passion. Let's see. I'm going to close out with some other oracle cards. Let me put these over there. The bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. So this is once again talking about, excuse me. Excuse me. I usually don't burp during readings. I don't want to say confirmation burp. I usually don't do that. But yeah, I was talking about unconditional love or emotional fulfillment, something that's bringing you this sense of like everlasting love, ever-flowing love, everlasting love. Is that what I'm trying to say? Maybe. You get the point. But, okay, so we're going to do Oracle. Deep knowing on the bottom of the deck. Owls could be significant as well. The number 43 could be significant. And then once again, going back to this full moon. So something really could be occurring around the full moon for you. So once again, that is September 21st. Like I said, if you're not watching this during the month of, or before, like September 2025, this could be just for the month ahead that's approaching. So let's see what advice Spirit has for you. Right, so first off, twos could be significant because I see a lot of twos here. But, so we're starting off with, imagine time for a nap and building blocks. So I think that maybe like the doubt that I was discussing before maybe came from like that Seven of Cups energy where it was very dreamy, illusions. Maybe you didn't feel like it could be grounded. So maybe this was something that you had taken a step back from, but now you're like in that energy, like I said, where you're wanting to keep going. Like you've thought about giving up, but you're almost towards the end. Like you see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then at the end of the tunnel, we had Treasure Island, Exchanging Gifts, and Blessed. So like this trio is just very magical. I got a little cut off because I had to delete some stuff off my phone. But anyway, so we got Treasure Island, Exchanging Gifts, and Blessed. And then we had Soulmates on the bottom. Don't really feel like getting into this. Maybe I'll do a separate reading for love, if this is love. But maybe you could be receiving or exchanging gifts with a soulmate, whether it's just a friend, a family member, or romantic partner, or crush, whomever. But these three cards together are, what I was saying was very magical, very auspicious kind of like energy. So like I said, like I just see success within the month of September. Maybe with a few surprises and a few challenges, but overall you're going to be getting where you want to go and you are in alignment. So if that's something that you've been struggling with along this journey, or with the situation that you've been dealing with the Nine of Wands, that this will be coming to an end. Like you will have healing, you will have happiness and fulfillment and joy and celebrations and blessings and gifts and other treasures, whether they're material or not. But I hope this reading was helpful, and I hope that you have a great month ahead. Thank you for watching.